generally, personally, I'm very curious. You kind of mentioned that you have a lot of events and a lot of people to meet. What exactly would be the day-to-day routine of a Lord Mayor?
Your first gig is at 8:30 in the morning. You finish at 10 o'clock at night. And so you could be meeting with executives in Cork City Council, you can meet in community groups. And in September and October, you have to visit 118 schools in the city.
Yeah.
So that's not speed dating, it's school dating. It's in like every half an hour you meet 400 kids.
Yeah.
5 schools every morning, 7 weeks. And you have to engage with them, you actually have to tell them. I told them the story of when a young kid kind of growing up and got interested in local history. So I told them my story in a bit of an entertaining way, a storytelling way. I suppose I'm lucky that I have a grow for local history and walking through the city. So I try to bring that into the mayoralty as well. So I think lots of my gigs actually was kind of telling lots of kind of, did you know this about this area?
That's brilliant, yeah. And do you wear the chain the entire time?
You do. You're supposed to. There was one occasion though I was asked not to wear it, so I wanted to walk in the St. Patrick's Day parade, and I wanted to be part of the parade, and they were like, okay, you're going to walk so in a suit and tie, and I'm like, it's a parade, you can't walk in a suit and tie, so the executive kind of said, you can't wear the chain, so I said, I want to be in the parade, I want to be just part of it, so I dressed up as Willy Wonka with a top hat and a cane. And afterwards, the executive was like, we told you, we don't want you to look like that. I've dabbled in acting. I'm very, very lucky. I've got multiple hobbies kind of through the years, and I think the dramatic side, my interest in singing, local history, kind of all kind of combined during my mayoralty year as well. It's kind of 52-week race where people kind of get to know you quite well as well.
That is great.
I go from like obscurity to all of a sudden walking down the street and people stopping you. Or for me, actually, where all these kids were coming up, I met 35,000 kids. 1/5 of the city's population during my school run, and there was kids coming up to the street and going, "Hi, Lord Mayor," and then just running off to their parents going, "That's the Lord Mayor." And the parents like, "Oh, you know this guy?" Yeah, so it was really interesting.
That is brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, no, it does sound like you brought definitely certain kind of wit to it. Like I never heard of a Lord Mayor dressing up as Willy Wonka Fall Parade. That's absolutely brilliant.
But that's what my question is, why not?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I probably spent 52 weeks in a suit and tie. So it was an opportunity to do something kind of creative and have a little bit of fun. And I walked in the Dragon of Shandon parade. If you've never seen the Dragon of Shandon in Cork, it's absolutely amazing on Halloween night. And so William, who runs it, William the Pro who runs it, like he puts me up at the top. No, and I actually was wearing the gold chain, but I decided to be an evil witch hunter. A fake German accent asking people, are you a witch?
That's offensive now.
And because it was very, very noisy, people were going, is that the Lord Mayor? Like dressed up with face paint and so on. And then when I said, are you a witch? I thought I was saying something else. And so those people kind of turn around and go, what did you think so much? I love bitch.
That's what you get for taking my culture, you know. It's cultural costume. I have another question for you. The day when you found out that you were up for becoming Lord Mayor, do you remember that day?
Yes, so actually every 5 years is local elections. After every local election, so the next 5 Lord Mayors are kind of set out. So I actually knew 4 years ago. I actually knew in 2019, and I had to wait for 4 years. So someone said to you, in 4 years' time, you're going to be doing the following.
Yeah.
It's a very, very long wait. Because I also thought that could be 2 years of COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's some very significant stuff that happened in this one.
Yeah, so my predecessors actually, like 2 of them really, really struggled because it was COVID. Everything actually kind of just shut down. And then kind of we got to open up again. I was like, yes. And by the time it got to me, we said the 1,600 events had come online as a physical presence again. So.
Do you think that would have been an easier schedule?
Oh, I felt really sorry for some of the Lord Mayors. I mean, there was one guy, and his whole 52 weeks was actually during COVID.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, from a comedy perspective, it's gold because every single picture's got a mask on. So, people are not going to be recognizing his pictures. But from like a tragedy perspective, I want to have what I had. And so it was sad. And even when we did get together for kind of general council meetings, like we were all kind of spaced out a metre apart, like we didn't talk to the person next to us. But it was a tough 2 years, but that's 4 years ago now. So we're moving on. Don't worry.
Yeah, 100%. As you knew 4 years beforehand, did you have any specific goals that you set yourself for yourself?
To enjoy it as much as I could. I think also you've got 52 weeks. I'm an independent councillor for the southeast of the city for 15 years. So my 14th year I became Lord Mayor, and so like a lot of my work in my community has been done in terms of physical works, fill a new playground, fill a pothole, and I was kind of going, well, there's no point setting something during the marathon that I can't fulfill. I mean, we had a directly elected mayor system down in Limerick, but not elsewhere, so it's very much an honorary position, and because you have 7 or 8 events a day, 40 a week. Like sometimes it's very, very difficult to say because if I want to do this goal, I found out at the end of every day I just have no headspace. And friends kind of ringing me up, kind of saying, "Oh, I want to chat to you now about this," and I'm kind of going, "I need to go to bed. I need to sleep for tomorrow. Let's get back on the road at 8:30." But yeah, it's 52 weeks, and you just run with the 52 weeks and try to enjoy it as much as possible.
Any events or any particular instances you remember particularly proudly?
I think the interesting thing with the singing is that it actually did take off. Like if the city and the country didn't know I could sing after that particular incident, or some people did. So actually, after that particular incident, I'd say every third event I was called up to sing a song.
Brilliant.
I give a speech, a serious speech, and we need to end world hunger, and we need to do so much. And then people were like, sing us a song. And I'm like, but I'm really serious here. We want the song. Sing what you sing. And so it was really, really interesting that kind of happens. It kind of ended up indirectly being with the singing Lord Mayor. Even though I do take my speeches seriously, but also with a sense of creativity.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
There was some nice moments like where you've got a crowd of people and they're not listening to you. So, for example, 300 people in a bar, or I was at an event in Denmark representing the city. We were hosting European Maritime Day next year, and the title had been handed to us. And then, there was people before me, and none of the 400 people were listening. It was an awareness.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? So I started my speech, and still nobody was listening. And I said, look, ladies and gentlemen, this song is dedicated to you. And I sang "Smile, how does it?" and the whole place went quiet. And for about 2 minutes, I had the whole room, 400 people in the room, and then I was like, "Come to Cork next year for European Maritime Day. This is what my city is about." And so it was interesting to use it as a mechanism to get people to listen to for 2 minutes, to hold the room for 2 minutes.
I hope they came and were goddess that you weren't singing at the festival.
Which?
I hope they came and they were goddess that you weren't performing.
Well, they're coming here next year.
Oh yeah?
Can we sing? We'll meet the next Lord Mayor. Sing Lord Mayor. And poor Dan Boyle will be like, what?
You can coach him a little. Good.
Yeah.
If there's any advice you give to someone getting into local Cork politics, what would that be?
Be interested in your area. I mean, for me, I come from a background of community work. I was teaching swimming, I was doing lifeguarding, I keep walking towards around town. For 31 years, I keep walking towards around town. I started giving walking tours when I was 16 years old in the city. So with a sign up on the street, kind of going walking tour. Like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursday evenings, and kind of got going. And I find myself over 3 decades later still giving walking tours, but not now on the street with a sign going free walking tours or walking tours here. And so I think you have to be involved in the city in some shape or form and have an interest, because then you actually, for me, there was one thing writing about the story, but then I ran and I took a seat as an independent, and then I actually really enjoyed the story because I was part of the story. So, I mean, even as Lord Mayor, like, there's one thing waiting about all the Lord Mayors of Cork historically, and I've written newspaper articles and books on the city, but when you're part of the story, and you're actually part of the storyboard, so that you're actually a character in the storyboard you research, that's actually stuff that's kind of special and emotional as well.
Yeah.
So I have a love and draw from Cork. You know, I can tell you when I was 11 years old, what I wanted to be when I grew up was be Lord Mayor of Cork.
That's brilliant.
And so when I was there, kind of like at the AGM last year, and they kind of, you're not the Lord Mayor of Cork, I was there kind of going, does that mean I've grown up? So what am I supposed to do now with my life? And it's actually when
Back to the walking tours.
a little bit, yeah. When I sat down actually at the AGM where Dan Boyle was elected, I found my North Star was gone, but I was like, okay, what did the 11-year-old kid also want? Was there something else in addition to the marriage and kid actually wanted? But it was really, it's been a really, really interesting kind of journey. I mean, writing is my passion as well.
That is absolutely brilliant. The next question I have is, what was that that ignited that passion for local history? Was there anything specific, or was something?
I just had teachers in school that were encouraging local history project work. And also, when I was quite a kid in school, I was a shy kid. It wasn't someone who was going to get a grade A and something just a hard slogger. And then when I started researching Cork history, it spoke to me a little bit. And then I began to create walking tours, do the writing, and I kind of just brought me on the journey, and it brought me on the journey way into the coast of change. And
it's brilliant. Sometimes it says, "Oh, he's a very good teacher," and the students of.
And then we all probably have that one teacher over in our lives that kind of inspired us to keep going and keep going on our journey.
Remember the teacher's name?
I had a John Fahey in primary school. It's called Creasery. An old Brett, he lost Creasery.
This goes out on the internet. Shout out to John Fahey. Thank you very much.
And actually, when I was doing the school run, I went back to my old primary school. Actually, it was fine kind of walking in there, like I began to get a bit emotional, kind of remembering all the past Lord Mayors. And at the end of my talk to the kids, like John Fahey walks in, and I'm kind of going, "Thank you so much for I was completely gone at that point, and the kids in the school were kind of looking at me, kind of going, "What's wrong with this guy?" Emotional roller coaster.
That is brilliant.
So I mean, if you have a teacher that really inspired you, like.
100%.
And interesting, like, I mean, when he retired, actually, they were thank you so much.
Amazing.
But I mean, he was a really interesting guy, local history was his passion, Cork, everyone knew Cork was his passion, but also he had an interest in John Denver.
Yeah.
So he used to play John Denver, every second day. And to this day, like when I hear John Denver song, I just start actually singing as well automatically. He's not singing a radio. It's like we're going to be indoctrinated with John Denver.
So he's to blame for the singing as well.
I think John Denver was so popular in the 1980s as a singer. The local history got into my head, but also kind of John Denver. I don't actually tell that story that much.
We got on camera now.
Great.
Do you have a favourite local history moment in Cork? A favourite tidbit of information?
We are very, very lucky the city has experienced every phase of Irish urban development. So we had an early Christian monastery, we had a Breaking Edge town, we had a walled town, we had a town walls down, we had expansion. I suppose my walking tour is kind of explore all those phases. So I suppose my tidbit is that we've experienced many phases of Irish urban development. I also like the whole idea that get out and explore like Cork Harbour. It's not just the city. We're very, very lucky with the harbour, like the second largest natural harbour on our doorstep. We also have a River Lee kind of valley adventure. And a few years, I'm very, very lucky. For 25 years, I've been writing a weekly column in the Cork Independent. So every week for 25 years, 1,000 words on some topic in Cork history. I did a whole series actually on the River Valley from Google Bar to the city that's following the river in, and actually knocking on people's doors and collecting their stories and found lots of things. So my tip would be kind of the many phases that the city's developing.
Yeah.
But then like my other things like go explore, and it's on our doorstep. We're very, very blessed as well with the countryside that we actually
100%.
Yeah, and I mean, we're lucky here. I mean, there are buildings on the site of an old medieval castle called Queen's Castle, which is it's one of the castles in the coat of arms in the city. So this building actually is very, very historic.
It feels the air conditioning here feels very, very historic.
Note to the owner of the
I do have another question question. I'm personally very interested because I've been adopted Cork man for like 4 years now, and
I can hear the accent.
Yeah,
slowly but surely the accent is taking over. It's only a matter of time you'll be pure Cork.
I'll still drink eventually. But I feel that it's always a stereotype that Cork people are very proud of the city, and I'm starting to feel it a little bit. I absolutely adore this place. Is there like any sort of what's the historical background for that? Do you know how that's developed?
I think it's because it's a small city, a small place, and everyone seems to know each other. And you kind of walk down Parker Street, and you're going to meet people that you know. I think it's just the community vibe that we actually have. And also kind of a very creative city. During my mayoralty, like these 1600 events, everywhere I was going, I was only kind of scratching the surface, and somebody was doing something good for Cork.
Yeah.
It's basically the 1600 events, the common denominator was Cork, and somebody doing something good for Cork.
Yeah.
So I say to Cork people, you think you know the city, you don't. There's so much going on in the city. It's like a comedy club that's here regularly. Like, if people haven't seen it, come in and see it. It's really good.
We found the credits.
Exactly, yeah. No, there's lots going on, and we just need to mind that. But I think it's just a community vibe, and there's people knowing each other. I think there's an openness and welcomeness here as well. We're kind of very blessed as well. It is a youthful city to a degree.
Yeah.
We've got 2 universities that are feeding into the city, so on any given night there's lots of just laughter in the town, and there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's definitely been my experience. I would subscribe to that 100%. It's very welcoming.
Yeah, and I think Cork people like chatting as well. And even when I'm hosting walking tours, you could have 20 people on a private tour, and you'd have a Cork person just wander up into the middle of a tour.
Yeah.
Kieran McCarthy tell about that, and the Cork person just wanders off. Pops out of the crowd like some sort of a devil, and just wanders on. The randomness I find in the city is absolutely amazing, and people want to tell you. Maybe because I give walking tours, so I get lots of people who want to tell their story to me as well, which is absolutely great that people can open up like that as well.
Yeah, it's definitely my experience because, especially where I'm from in Germany, I remember the first time I went to a pub in Cork, the table next to us just started talking to us. You're trying to make friends. In Germany, if you go up to a table of strangers and you talk to them, you're weird.
It's interrogation.
Yeah, you don't belong there.
Cork people like finding out where you're from.
Yeah, 100%.
And why you're here. You like Cork, you love Cork. If Cork was a character, yes, it's very open and very welcome, but so hard on itself.
Yeah.
At the very best moments, we could do that better. It loves the misery as well at times.
I think that's
It's a bit of a comedian of a character.
I have another topic really quick. Because I have a Venezuelan friend who also does comedy, and she told me that there's you probably heard about this. That there's a guy called Daniel O'Leary, who was a man born in Cork, who is actually the national hero of Venezuela, who fought in the liberation fights there, which I thought fascinating. I kind of blew my mind. Are there any other Cork people that have had that much of an international impact that people might not have heard about?
I think there was a Cork architect that designed the White House.
Oh, really?
There's a crater on the moon named after George Boole. Oh, I guess the Agnes Clark Easterbury is a crater on the moon named after her. We're
special moon.
Yeah, we like the moon. And I suppose we've been kind of various characters. I tell the story of actually Father Matthew. So we don't do statues well in Cork. We've got one big statue of Father Matthew.
Yeah.
Now last year, Michael Collins statue came on the street in the Grand Parade on the South Mall. But Father Theobald Matthew, he got something 200,000 people off the drinking Cork in the 1830s. Wow. Now to get 200,000 Irish people off the drinking, really good. And actually, the year that he died, 1856, a new brewery opened. So people were afraid, and he died in a new brewery. Heineken Ireland and Ladies Brewery. So there's some nice quirky stories like that.
That is brilliant.
That as well.
So any specific historical occasion that you think might be underappreciated?
I always think every corner is kind of underappreciated. I gave a walking tour on Sunday. We were up around kind of Ferrara Street, Tower Street, towards Turner's Cross area, and there's a tower. So actually from South Main Street, if you look up South Main Street, look up Barrett Street, you'll see there's a tower on a hill. And it's not a medieval tower, it's actually from 1870s. So someone actually built himself a watchtower. And in a nutshell, like he got people to pay to go to the top of the tower, and some of the proceeds went to the sick poor of the city. But unfortunately for this man, he also put a red light in the top of the tower, and so it attracted the wrong sort of people.
Oh,
so
no.
the whole place became a brothel and prostitution. And what's interesting is that I told the story on Sunday that all these cases then were brought into the courts, like local people kind of going, and one place kind of shut down. But the thing about the newspapers way back in the 1880s that they tell you the detail of all the stories, and so there's some harrowing stories in the prostitution. But there was one story of a parish priest who kind of went into the area with a Bible and started kind of bashing the Bible on desks to try and get everything to stop. Well, the upshot is that this kind of Catalan's tower was closed down. And about 4 weeks ago, I got an email from a tourism organisation in Dublin wanted to bring a group of tourists up Catalan's tower. And I was like, it's been shut since 1875, so that's not going to happen. There's actually also no stairs. So there's lots of quirky things like that as well. Like
That's very
keeping cover and curiosities.
If there would be any Cork story or Cork history story that you could adapt into a movie, what do you think? What do you think would be the most exciting one?
Oh, definitely. Like the origin story of our patron Saint Finbar, and that he was there maybe 100 years after the time of Saint Patrick, and there was a snake that Saint Patrick forgot about.
Just one.
Well, just one that in our story, and according to legend, like Finbar is, as a teenager is sent to a lake where the Liberty actually rises. And he steps up on kind of a rock and he blesses the serpent, and the serpent's like, oh my eyes, and the serpent takes off all the way down the Riverly Valley and out into Cork Harbour until it disappears. And down the valley there's actually a lake called Ochanua, and actually during our European Capital Culture launch in 2005 there was a giant snake in the river, and actually the fireworks and the start of 2005 began when one of our famous hurlers, Sean O'Brien, have been flung burning sugar actually into the snake. So there's certain things around the snake story and the origin story of the city. And Finbar decided to stay a few years by the lake and decided to follow, perhaps to see if the snake had gone. And he established a monastery then overlooking the swamp. I mean, all of this area as well is built on 16, 17 marshy islands.
Yeah.
And just dig down into this pub 2 meters at the tide and you hit the tide. I mean, buildings like this are built on tree trunks going onto the ground as well. So there's something about having it's a nice movie about this floating city as well.
Yeah.
Or someone kind of digging down kind of into the ground.
For your fireballs and snakes.
Yeah, and I've been doing lots of stuff on kind of like finding Viking age remains as well, kind of around South Main Street, and they found really quirky things that Vikings were doing 1,000 years ago. They were skinning chickens and selling their fur and stuff like that. Like these, when you kind of like read the archaeology reports, they made pottery, they stitched, they chatted about made music, they fished. They skinned kittens. They went for walks. They went for chats. I know.
Yeah. I think I'm less proud of being from here now.
But you're not from here yet. The accent has completely changed when you're actually from.
On that topic, actually, one of the last questions here. Ireland has a reputation, especially in recent years, I think, of being a really very accepting, a very loving country. Like, it's made a lot of progress in like progressive policies and stuff recently. And I think even where I'm from, in Germany, people kind of look at Ireland as just a super welcoming place, where everybody just accepts you. Do you think, where do you think that historically comes from? Do you think that has to do with the country's history of oppression itself, or?
I think it's to do with trade.
Trade.
Yeah, I've been researching the city's port trade, what ships came in from different places. They came from all over Europe, so I'm always of the view that there was so many conversations even at our docks. I mean, in actual medieval times, this used to be the dock here. And from this building back, this is called Castle Street, there was 2 castles on either side of a medieval river channel here. And we know where all the goods came from. So my God is that somebody pulled up with a boat and began to say, well, where are you from? Which I love the book. That's actually a really, really great movie as well. Like that people working on the docks were like, okay, how long did it take you? What was the seas like? And also kind of way back in time, like when there was no social media, like people chatted a lot more and told stories.
Yeah.
I think I said earlier on to somebody that like Cork people like telling stories. They're storytellers.
Yeah.
And Irish people are storytellers as well. They always think that Cork people are better at telling stories. And witticisms.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. That's I very much see that. I see that even living here, it's a very welcoming place. It feels very supportive.
Yeah, and as I say as well, I think there's something wrong with 25,000, 30,000 students that attend here. I think most people actually enjoy their time in Cork. But I think it is rooted in that kind of a ship pulling in that someone could go on right from.
Yeah. Tell me a story.
Tell me your story. People being curious. I mean, I give free walking tours for Cork people. Like free walking tours for non-Cork people who live with us. I give free public tours, and anyone who's here, you're more than welcome to come on. And usually in the suburbs in the city like that, for people to get to know their area and they're living in a lot more. And then I'll get on with a private walking tour business around the city. But I kind of find like the general public people, I gave a walking tour the other day. There was 100 people on the walking tour.
Yeah.
So I'll give around Friars Walk, Friars Street area, and like it's an oration standing on a bench telling the story of the city. And, people have been used first. They want to find out about the city and not more.
That is, absolutely.
Which is the great thing about this, what you're trying to do here is that you're bringing guests in and you're kind of asking different questions and what is Cork all about, trying to find out what makes it tick. As well, I've been studying that for over 30 years, what makes this place tick. And I'm never going to get to the base of what makes it tick. Because it's a chameleon. I think a chameleon just keeps changing. But it's once you kind of get into its story, it's actually a really interesting story to follow as well. So for me, it's not just like the history and the data, it's also the identity of the Corkonians and what makes the Corkonian kind of tick.
Yeah.
And how we've got a massive sense of pride here. As I said earlier on, so we beat ourselves up as well.
It's a nice mix.
Yeah.
All right. Should we finish with a sing song? But it helps. I can assume the identity and we can.
Yeah, I know you laugh. I know when I was in that position, though, it was a different kind of story. Or kind of you have to think on your feet, kind of going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to back down from somebody.
No, 100%. Should never back down.
Yeah, I mean, I had a plan in my head that at one point in time somebody was going to come towards me. So I was standing up for the library workers and the library right there, and I knew they were going to come for me. So, but on the day that it happened, I wasn't expecting it because it was actually just up here in the corner. It was a family day, and then it's got all of a sudden this person standing in front of me and going, "Can I ask you a few questions?" And then I launched into the song.
Yeah, the video is.
So, what do you have to say about yourself with the library and making up those lies that you said we shut the library?
I've been waiting for this.
So what's your answer?
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my
one of my favorites for mainly the reason that you start at the beginning, you start saying, I was expecting you, and then you start singing. Which is like a John Wayne moment. It's brilliant.
I was expecting you, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
You expect me to talk and me to sing. What's interesting in the weeks after, there was actually one of my school visits. At the end of giving the talk, the school was like, we've got one last thing we want to do, and like 400 kids signed what to do for Mark.
And
I was there kind of like shaking.
That's incredible. I think in general, even standing up for those poor library workers and against people that bullying and harassing in general, huge respect to you. I think it deserves a round of applause as well.
They join my loyalty as well, like it was encouraging togetherness, let's keep together, because there are people that are trying to divide us.
100%.
So events like this kind of bring people together. Like there is no exam at the end of this kind of this history session here. It's just a bit of enjoyment. So we need more of what we're trying to do in the city.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
As much as possible. And the great thing about comedy is that it does cheer people up.
Thank you. Here it goes well.
Especially from the Cork weather, because we face out onto the Atlantic, so we get all the Atlantic flooding. Believe it or not, actually, here's one tidbit. It's the highest rainfall per annum in Western Europe. Because we face out onto the Atlantic.
I love how you have an historical explanation for the shit weather. That's brilliant.